To use affordable and durable motorcycle sprockets, this simple workshop in Pakistan planned to use discarded ship steel plates for construction. Despite lacking advanced production equipment, the resulting products were highly cost-effective. The heavy steel plates before them became the raw material for the motorcycle sprockets. Since the sprockets are standard circular shapes, they first needed to use a stamping machine to punch out circular shapes of the sprocket size to maximize the utilization of the recycled steel plates. The workers meticulously checked every gap between the stamping holes without wasting resources. Processing was done using standard circular punches, ensuring each piece met usage requirements. After skilled stamping by the workers, as the sprockets needed to be fixed to the hub of the motorcycle and the hub needed to be connected to the swing arm through a fixed axle, holes needed to be punched in the center of the circular steel plates for the attachment of the motorcycle's rear wheel. For such hole punching, the workers only needed to slot the steel plate into the limiting groove and then measure the distance between the holes. This quick operation was possible because of the uneven surface of the steel plates. After stamping, the uneven surface must be completely removed using a lathe threading tool. The edges after stamping were extremely sharp, so they needed to be chamfered, ensuring a smooth surface and rounded edges, preventing hand injuries. The cut steel plates needed to be moved to the next workstation. Although the construction of motorcycle sprockets is simple, the processing workflow is unique. 4 holes needed to be punched to ensure sufficient heat dissipation holes in each sprocket, providing ample ventilation. Despite the presence of burrs around the heat dissipation holes, a high-end grinder was used to polish both sides, eliminating the need for subsequent lathe cutting. These semi-finished sprockets were then sent to the gear milling workshop, where the workers meticulously processed each step despite the workshop's modest conditions. After firmly locking the semi-finished sprockets onto the fixed axle, the teeth on the sprockets could be processed. Next, the stack of sprockets was fixed onto the gear milling machine, and after adjusting the distance between the gear milling cutter, teeth were cut into each stack of semi-finished sprockets. In processing multiple sprockets at once, the Pakistani workers, who typically avoided cutting fluid, finally switched it on to prevent overheating during milling. This not only cooled the process, but also ensured sufficient lubrication. With workers closely monitoring, the stacked steel plates were quickly cut into teeth. Although the appearance of the teeth was fully processed, the sprockets still didn't meet usage requirements. Before being fixed onto the hub with bolts, the internal debris needed to be manually cleaned for drilling holes. To ensure consistent hole distances for each sprocket, all sprockets must be fixed using a hole position mold. Consistent holes could be drilled using the mold once all the sprockets were tightly stacked and fixed. Despite the repeated movements required during drilling, the drill bit marked the positions for drilling. After stacking the sprockets, the drill bit of the drill press could reach the bottom. With highly skilled operation by the workers, the semi-finished rear sprockets needed further processing on a lathe for detailing. This was because the burrs around the edges of the motorcycle sprockets, resulting from the gear milling machine's processing, hindered the movement of the chain. Thus, each sprocket needed a simple cut to ensure smooth and even edges. After meticulous processing, the motorcycle sprockets made from discarded ship steel plates were finally produced.